Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 17 through 18. But though the fig tree doesn't flourish nor fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive fails. The fruit yields no food. The flock are cut off from the fold. There is no herd in the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. Be joyful in the God of my salvation. You see, he said, though the fig tree doesn't flourish, we are the fig trees that has to flourish. We got to show forth the fruit. Because let's look at Matthew where Jesus cursed the fig tree. Matthew chapter 11 verses 13. Seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. But when he reached it, he found nothing but leaves. But it was not the season. You see, Jesus looks at our branches, looks at our trees, and he wants to see fruit. He's got to see, are we bearing the fruits of the Spirit? Are we bearing the love? Are we bearing the joy? Are we bearing the peace? And so he's looking for fruit, and we got to bear the fruit. And not only we got to bear the fruit, we got to also sow seed. Then nor the fruit be in the vines and the labors of the olives fail. You see, the labors are few. There's very few workers out there. In Matthew chapter 9, verses 35 through 38. And Jesus went through all the cities and the village, teaching in the synagogue, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every disease and every affliction. And when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the labors are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of harvest that he send out labors to the harvest. He said the labors are few. He said pray. You know, like even Isaiah, God send me. Send me. I want to be sent out there. You know, so we got to pray, God, send the laborers. Even if it's me, send the laborers. We need to quit being so bashful. You know, Jesus even, look, he laid hands on the sick. He healed the sick. And we got to go out there also and do the same thing he did and also proclaim the gospel. And he said, behold, the flocks are cut off from the fold. John chapter 15, verses 2. Every branch that is in me, that says we are in God, we are in Jesus, that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. He cuts it off. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purges it, so that it may bring forth fruit. So he purges it. That means, like when you prune a tree, you got to cut off the dead branches. You got to cut off the sin. You got to cut it off so you can grow, so you can flourish.